Greetings, everybody. Once again, we are trying to do a little update for you guys out that may not be here in the parish or may even be in the parish, hopefully installed into your houses with electricity. And speaking of electricity, you'll see out in our LaFawn Performing Arts Center parking lot stage many of our linemen and external electric companies that have come in to support our community here to get our power back up and running. So this is just one example of one of the staging areas that we work very closely with governmental agencies as well as other contractors to help provide support to our community as much as our own schools. So many of our sites have staging equipment already placed specifically for other supports outside of our school system. Another thing that you'll see in the LaFawn Performing Arts Center is kind of our staging area to receive donations. We have been so fortunate and blessed to have received donations from Jackson County, Mississippi, Lafayette School System, and many others. Gulfport sent a packet of letters to distribute to our students this morning. Very caring and very kind. It just kind of reminds you how special this country is and how we are as a community here in Louisiana and really throughout this lower South region. So as we stage and collect the donations, we make plans to distribute those to needy families and needy employees. As a general update, we sent out yesterday relative to us receiving a lot of electricity at many of our sites. Just a reminder that in order for us to clear a site, our environmental company needs to go in, detect moisture in each separate room and each separate building. Once they are able to identify the moisture levels in those walls or other equipment, then we go in behind them with our emergency contractors and cut out certain sections of walls, dehumidify certain spaces. Then after that, they go in and test it again, and then they test the air quality and make sure there are no other microbes, so on and so forth, on any external equipment, surfaces, and in the air. Once we're able to do that, then we can officially, if all those things have been completed, then we can turn on our own air system, which we have already replaced all the air filtration systems or devices. We're working on that currently throughout the week this week. Once that is done, then we kind of get the clearance for those particular buildings. And as mentioned previously, some school sites were more damaged than others. So you also have to consider the amount of repairs at some of our sites that has to be completed before we can open up our schools. So with all of that said, we feel as though within the next day or so, we'll have a better idea of timelines for our opening. And they may be in packs or groups of schools together. Right now, most of our West Bank schools have power. So it would seem that the East Bank schools do not. So they're a little bit farther behind from that standpoint. What our promise to you as it has always been is to open our schools when they're operationally safe to do so in the most time-efficient and time-effective way to make sure our students are provided the supports that they need to be successful in school. So that's kind of an update relative to our current status. We have power at the majority of our sites, more West Bank than East Bank. There are some East Bank sites that do not currently have power. We're still waiting for the boil water advisory to be lifted, as well as the low use of sewage, which also are contributing factors to our opening, as well as our staffing. We've conducted surveys, as you may have known. We've received over 6,000 student surveys completed and close to 1,600 employee surveys completed. These surveys allow us to identify the needs of our families as well as our employees, which are both very important to us. And we are currently planning additional supports for those employees that need them, that may be out of a house or maybe out of a home or place to work, to try to work in coordination with people currently in our parish to provide additional supports. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. We're also very happy to announce that we'll open central office up next week as that next step to our opening, to where we can really provide the support to those school building sites in preparing our schools to open. So we had a meeting, in fact, this morning with quite a few school administrators and executive staff members and central office personnel relative to some plans specifically for schools. So know that we are spending every minute of every day planning, working together, not just on the facility side, but the operational side as well. What does the calendar look like? What does the learning process look like at different schools if they're going to be opening up at different times? All those things are being worked out and planned so that we can communicate it to our families, and it's good quality information that you can actually use and hold on to. So we're trying not to are trying not to turn over every stone so that we know how to best support our families and our students. That generally is our, the latest update. We have we're meeting with board members next week to provide them an update. They provided substantial support for our system as we prepare and repair for our opening in the upcoming weeks. We're so appreciative of the outpouring of support from our community, from our business partners who've also reached out in support, from our families, from our employees. We miss each and every one of you. We will be made whole after all this. We have a very bright future ahead of us. We are building blocks each and every day and removing as many barriers as we can. So know that we're thinking of you each and every day. We love you. Can't wait to see you soon. And we will be coming out very soon with a detailed plan on when we can open up schools. So thank you and have a great day and have a great weekend as well.